Hey there. Today is Friday, the 4th of June, and I thought I would do my video journal while I was making myself some dinner. I uh, I have a recipe and ingredients from Purple Carrot, and I'm making barbecued glazed sweet potatoes. So, yeah. Today's been a day. I'm in Indiana. I came to take care of some things here, and was trying to work from here. Had all kind of problems with the internet today. Luckily, it's resolved. And I have to say that I'm very proud of myself for not getting irritated and agitated. You know, this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, I called to say, hey, can you turn the internet back on? And they said yes and supposedly set it up, but it didn't work. And then I ended up on the phone for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, trying to get it sorted out for them to say, hey, you got to drive 30 minutes to go to an Xfinity store to get another box. So I did that and came back, and still didn't work, but luckily somebody got on the phone and got the internet working, and then had to call back again to get the phone service to work here. So it was a day. But I can think back to a time that if I would have had to spend like 5-6 hours trying to figure all this stuff out, that I might have been extremely frustrated, and I wasn't. I was pleasant. I was, grateful to be alive. I was glad that I was able to talk to the people that could actually solve the problem, finally. So I felt really good about that. So this whole intention of staying positive and having a grateful attitude and not succumbing to negativity even when things aren't going right. I'm just very pleased and proud of myself for not only setting that intention, but doing the things that I need to do in kind of my day-to-day journey, just to set myself up for the right type of mindset so that I don't get upset through those things. So my day has not gone exactly how I wanted it to go. I did prayed a little. I did my Bible study. I did yoga. I have a chapter in a book that I need to read. I haven't done that yet because I just got caught up with all these other things. And, before I knew it, it was, 5:30 in the evening. So I'm going to make myself some dinner. I'm looking forward to this. Oh, what else? My younger sister has 3 sons, and one of them goes to a charter school for the arts in Miami. And because of COVID-19, they had to do their, year-end choir concert in a different kind of way. So they made this video, and she sent it to me on YouTube. And I have to tell you, that just made me so happy. I love my nephew so much. With these teenage boys, normally when I see them, and I don't see them that often, so I have three nephews that are the same age. Michael and Robert are freshmen in high school, and they go to school in Miami. And then I have another nephew, John, that is in Texas. And when I see them together, like I saw them, I don't know when's the last time I saw all of them together. But when I do see them, it's always like, they've got a iPad or, or some other, or games or whatever. And, nobody talks, nobody communicates, you don't really get to see their personality or anything like that. And so as I watched him in this choir concert video, I was just so delighted because he's got these smoldering good looks. I mean, the kid is handsome. And I'm not just biased. He really is. I mean, he's always been beautiful. My the kids in our family are good looking. I just say that right there. But he's got these smoldering good looks. Like this really strong jawline, and he's singing, and he's like really smiling and singing and kind of dancing and performing and getting into everything. And it is the most personality that I've actually got to witness from him, since he was little kid. And so I was just really happy to be able to watch that. It warmed my heart. The kids, even all the other kids too, they're just very talented. It was very well done. I really enjoyed it. And for those of you that know me, I really like being entertained. I like music. I have a great appreciation for people that are artists, that have talent, that express themselves. And so I was just really excited about that. It really made my day. Let me do my MEPS check-in. So mentally, I am clear. Emotionally, I am happy. Physically, I am feeling good. I'm strong. Got no aches, no pains, nothing. And then, spiritually, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. All those things. So that's really good. So, that's my check-in. I will tell you that is another thing that I'm grateful for. I think I've talked about it before, but you cannot take for granted your health. You can't take for granted your mental health. I know that I can't. That's why I work on it every day. I'm kind of intentional about trying my best to eat the right types of food, having balanced meals, making sure I'm getting the right amount of sleep, making sure that I'm active and exercising, that I've just got good balance in my life, and that I also focus on my mental health. Now, I have a person in my life that I really care about that is struggling from a mental health perspective and has been in, I'm going to say, a mental health crisis on and off, never really getting, stabilized, right? And not appearing not to do the things that they need to do to kind of get themselves right. And so I'm sure it is it's a challenge for the people around this person. Everybody that cares about them wants to be helpful, but you know what? At the end of the day, we all have to be responsible for our own mental health and our own recovery, our own, really understanding what our triggers are, and using healthy coping skills, and so on and so forth. Now, I have struggled with mental illness in the past, and what I like to tell people is that mine is not a chronic condition that just requires me to be medicated for the rest of my life and in therapy, all my life. But there are people, especially people who are kind of in the mental health field that want to make something that is acute chronic. Like, oh, if this happened to you, it'll happen to you, it'll happen again to you, and the only way that you can keep yourself together is being on medication for the rest of your life. I'm telling you, I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. And I have had situations where I was in a mental health crisis that required me to take medication. But it's just like, if I had an allergic reaction to something and I was breaking out, the doctor will give me something. Because in fact, I had an allergic reaction to something. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got some redness, like right here on my neck. I don't know what I was allergic to, but it was itchy and red and raised, and I went to the doctor and they gave me some type of topical steroid cream to be able to stop the inflammation and stuff like that. And so I take medication when I need it, and I use it until I've gotten through whatever the situation is. Same thing. I mean, if I had a bladder infection or something else, there's something that's acute that you're going through, and you need some medication to help turn it around and resolve the situation. And then you kind of just go on with your life, right? And so for me, I had to learn, if I do have a mental health crisis, what do I need to do to get myself out of it? Let me do those things. And so if it involves taking medication, I'll take it for a period of time. And then I will also do counseling and things like that. Or, if I really understand what the trigger was, then now I got to live my life a different way. But I can't be on medication forever. The first time that happened to me, I was on, there was some medication that I took, and everybody around me was just like, oh, you gotta take this, you gotta take this, you gotta take this. And, I was, but that medication was wrecking my life. I mean, I gained 40 pounds in like a month. My face broke out. I got sensitive skin anyway, but I'm just like acne everywhere, gained a whole bunch of weight. I was, having all kinds of crazy side effects. And, it's like, it was good to get me stabilized, but then once I got past the point where I really needed it, my body was just having horrible reactions to it. And it wasn't until, that I stopped taking it that everything started to clear up. I can actually remember, so, I've had these different incidents, but I can remember that I had been on this medication and I was going to therapy, and I had decided, I was just like, yeah, I got to wean myself off of this medication, but I still want to be careful and I still want to go to therapy and everything. So I did not tell my therapist that I wasn't going to take this medication anymore. And at this particular time, I was going to see her once a week, right? And I will tell you, while I was taking this medication, I was walking around like a zombie. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't multitask. I was having memory problems. It was just not good, and somebody actually I worked with was like, yeah, you got to wean yourself off of that because you're never going to be able to function. You're never going to be able to get your life back. So that was really the catalyst that time for me saying, okay, I'm going to wean myself off. And do you know that I think the day after, maybe it was like a day or two after I stopped taking this medication, I went to go see my therapist and had a session, and she was just, and I didn't tell her, but she was just like, "You seem so much better. You're doing really, really well. I'm really impressed." And, so I kept seeing her, and so she went from, okay, we were seeing each other once a week, and then she said, "Well, I don't think we need to see each other every once in a week because you just seem so much better." So we went to like twice a month, and then we went to once a month, and I probably continued to see her for like another three months before I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I stopped taking that medication 3 months ago." And she was just like, "Wow, good for you." Way to advocate for yourself, because I would have never recommended it, and I don't know any doctor that would have recommended it, but I can see that that was the right thing for you, right? And that you really have a handle on things, and you're actually better day to day without the medication than you were with it, from a day to day standpoint. And she really commended me, and I really appreciated that. And so I convinced her by showing her, right, that this was right for me. And so then years later, when I had an episode again, and when I say years later, it was like 8 years later. It wasn't, I took medication while I was in the hospital. I was in there for a very short period of time. And then I just I didn't take medication after at all when I left the hospital, but continued to, see my therapist, and she was okay with that. So that's what works for me. But I was talking to somebody this morning about, hey, I've got a friend that's really struggling, and nothing seems to be, well, they don't want to take any medication, have had to go to the hospital a few times, only to be let out a couple days later, and, just kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I said, there's got to be some other way, some other approach, that we can take so that this person can really and truly get the medication that they need, get stable, and not just have the ability to walk out the door before then. And so, this person was talking to me and was, "Oh, well, this person will need to be on medication for the rest of their life." And I was like, oh God, another one of these people. I hate that. I really think that people that are in the mental health field need to be a little more open-minded, because a pill is not the answer for good health. In fact, I'm a firm believer, I guess maybe I'm like a naturalist, but I don't think that anything that is man-made, that is processed, that didn't come from the earth, right? I don't think it's good for you to take. I think it's like you're poisoning your body. And I'm like, and there are plenty of people, that take medication, for some illness, and that medication, it helps with one thing, but it causes all type of other problems, And so for me, I'm just a firm believer, take stuff when you need it, use it for what it is that you need it for, and then figure out how to live your life in a different way, make better choices so that you don't have to be dependent on these things. So, yeah, I'm anti-drugs. If you didn't know it before, you know it now. So, I just had that on my mind. I don't think that I can. I'm not a professional chef. And so I don't really think that I can read the directions on my recipe, prep all my food, and talk to you at the same time. So I'm going to say peace out. And I'm going to make my meal. I'm sure it's going to be quite delicious. I'm really looking forward to it. But that's my check-in for the day. Take care.